Our buddy, our boy, FAN royalty and a legend, Joe B in the house. What's up, Joe?
How you doing, guys? Good to talk to you.
pal?
Are you encouraged by the Mike White grit or discouraged because you lost to a team that you probably could have beaten?
Well, here's my take on this game. I'm very down on the defense, okay? You know, this defense, first of all, the last 4 games, they forced one freaking turnover. One. And that was in the Bear game. Mosley got an interception when the game was over already, okay?
Yeah, that diving interception. It's a great interception.
They never take the ball away. Never, never. And Mosley, let's be honest, Mosley jumping offside when everybody in the world knew they were not running a play late in the first half completely turned the game around. And here's the other thing that ticks me off with this defense, too, beside the fact they never get a turnover, the dumb play by Mosley. How many times they're starting to be like Rex's old defense. We saw this last week in Minnesota, right? They get themselves back in the game, 20-15, right down the field, go to Vikings for the touchdown, 27-15. Yesterday, this brilliant drive by Mike White's unbelievable. You know, he's hitting Garrett Wilson on the sideline. By the way, God forbid they throw a flag there. So late hit out of bounds.
Yes.
No, we don't get those. We don't get those.
100%, Joe.
And every hit that White took yesterday, not one roughing the passer. Not one. Okay,
well,
but we never get a roughing. We never get
those
were
Joe. Hold on, Joe. Those were clean hits, Joe.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay,
those were clean.
Okay, but then you see the Sunday Night Football.
Oh my God, that one by Phillips on Herbert.
That was nonsense.
Come on,
nonsense.
What?
Yeah.
Give me a break. Right, exactly, Teak. I'm glad you brought that play up. Okay, but so yesterday again, great drive, touchdown, 7-7, boom, 6 plays, 14-7. This is the stuff. This is why this defense is good and nowhere near what they should be. You watched the 49ers yesterday. They're intercepting Brady. They're taking the ball away. This is what this defense has to start to freaking do, and it makes me crazy. The other thing from yesterday, obviously the mistakes, the Mosley penalty. Joe Flacco's done. I don't want to see Joe Flacco ever again in a Jet uniform. And why is Michael LaFleur, okay? Flacco comes in the game, first play. Can you just run the ball? I forget what the down was. It doesn't matter. Run the ball.
I think that was second down, Joe,
okay.
Because then the next play, White came in and hit the first down on third down.
Yes.
Run the ball. Okay. No, this was the fumble. The first play.
No, I know.
Okay. Run the damn ball, okay, instead of having him throw it. Okay, that was key. The fact that he missed a couple series, White, was huge in the game. And, of course, the Carter fumble was a killer. There's no doubt. And I was a little upset with the coach. Should have went for it on 4th and 1 instead of kicking the field goal.
Yeah.
And I thought he should have used – I know he wanted to save his timeouts until the end of the game. 4 minutes to go.
Yep.
It's 20-9. Call time out. You just stopped them on 3rd down. They're going to punt. Save the time there.
Jen. Jen, my
I'm
wife,
not Jen.
Joe. No,
she's much better looking than
that
me.
is for damn sure.
You got that right.
If you looked like Jen, I wouldn't be married to Jen. I can promise you that.
I don't know about that.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah,
everything you said, I'm with you. As the clock is ticking, like 4 minutes and 14 seconds, I'm like, call timeout.
Right.
When it was 4th and 1, and they talked about this, I thought Romo did a good job. Go for the first down. They probably give you the first down just to defend the touchdown, the Bills, because you might not get that close again. But I can even live with that because, listen, we talk about the maturation of young quarterbacks and young players. Joe, there's also a process for a young head coach, and there were no pressurized games for Saleh last year. He's kind of going through this for the first time, and he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. No,
and you agree with that, right?
Oh, no question about it. And what he said after the game, I loved it. When he said that we will see Buffalo again, I'm like,
yes.
All right,
that means
Robert,
playoffs.
That's what I want to. Yeah, right. Not next year when we play them twice. No, that's what I want to hear, no doubt. And I'm going to say this: I think they got to run the table, and I think they're going to run the table. I really do. The Lions are much better, no doubt. Everybody, they're only a 1-point favorite in this game. Give me a break. Got to beat the Lions. The Jaguars are much better, obviously. Got to beat them. And then Seattle's very beatable. Run the ball on Seattle. Carolina ran the ball for 200-something yards on them. And then I want the overrated Dolphins. Every time that I have to root for a team that I absolutely hate, okay? I hate the Dolphins. Like, I see Teal, I want to puke, okay? All right? Yeah. I see A.J. Dewey running, hey, A.J., take the ball. Richard, throw it to A.J. Yeah. Okay. All right? Don Shula, it never rains in South Florida. We don't need a tarp. But whatever. I hate the Dolphins, okay? And last night, I got to root for those guys.
Yep.
And, of course, they lose. Tua, who's overrated. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Completes 10 passes against that crummy defense.
Yeah, he might fall. He might.
Give me a break.
The Dolphins might slide behind the Jets, to be fair, before
Yeah,
you
they got to
even
play
get
Buffalo next
Exactly.
week. You think they're beating Buffalo in Buffalo?
Not playing
no
like
way.
they have the last 2 weeks. Now, we had this conversation, Joe, about Mike White. He's the quarterback for the rest of the season. We know
No
that.
question.
But this is more about Zach and Mike and what this looks like come the offseason, because Zach needs to be back into the fold, so to speak.
Well, he needs to be the backup.
That's
next
what I
week.
mean. Like, Joe Flacco can't be the backup quarterback anymore.
right.
And if he's not, right, if Robert Saleh keeps saying, yeah, he's going to be the third string, he's not going to be dressing, but we still got to get him into playing. You're sending such a confusing message, I think, to Zach, to the team, to the fans. Like, how do you manage this Zach Wilson situation right now?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think White's the quarterback.
Oh, of course he is. But I'm saying, what do you do with Zach? Because Zach,
he's the backup.
It matters, man. Something's got to happen. Like, if Mike White wins the competition coming out of training camp, they got to re-sign him first of all. But he wins the competition coming out of training camp. Zach Wilson is in this. It's one of the oddest spots that we could think of.
Well, you know what? Here's the interesting thing about Zach Wilson. He's still kind of unknown. Mm-hmm. So I think because of that, you could deal him somewhere to a team that needs a quarterback to say, hey, you know what? The kid didn't really get a great shot in New York. There was some other, mitigating circumstances, whatever you want to say. And a team that really needs a quarterback takes a shot at him. Would you be shocked? Let me tell you this. Seriously. Tell me.
In today's NFL, no, I wouldn't.
No, but here's what I'm going to say. Would you be shocked if he wound up with Bill?
Yes. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Why,
because the Jets would have to trade him there, and there's no way the Jets would trade him.
No,
there.
that's true. That's right.
No
He's not
chance.
a free agent. You're right. I'm sorry.
I
That's right.
you.
They'd have to trade him.
Yeah, but Joe,
I think there would be a team that would take a chance on him.
I agree with that. Now, would you get a fourth-round pick that might become a third? I mean, it's not going to be any sort of premium draft equity, but I think that's a little further down the road.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that now. Right now, I'm worried about beating the Detroit Lions Sunday.
Me too, but I'm also of the mindset there is, and you said
you have to bring
you said
this
it
up.
without saying it.
You have to bring this
Joe
up because-
Flacco can't be active.
Yeah,
No,
but
he did not want to play Sunday.
No, he's done. Flacco's done.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
we're on
Mike
the same-
White-
If you don't want to activate Wilson for whatever reason, and I don't know what's going on, I think there's a lot more going on than we even realize in that locker room.
Well, then it's over if that's the
Okay,
case.
but if you don't
It's
want to
over.
activate, then it is. But
Yeah.
if you don't want to activate Wilson, then this guy Strevenger, whatever his name is, let him be the backup because you cannot know. I mean, look, I don't know if he is any good.
Yeah.
He
but
was
at
good
least
during the
he's
summer.
At least he's alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Joe Flacco's done. He's a
Yeah.
statue. It's
I
over.
agree.
And I couldn't. I said this to Tiki B. I don't know if you heard it.
What's that?
Can LaFleur call a running play on the first play Flacco has?
Yeah,
Can he
I
call a
agree with that,
running
Joe.
play?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, don't put him in there to throw the ball all the
And
time.
Michael Carter's not the same player anymore. Next week, here's what I want to see next week. I want to see him dress Robinson. Bam Knight is the number one guy.
Yep.
Why did we not see Ty Johnson get any play yesterday? Where were all those passes that he was hitting out of the backfield against Minnesota? We didn't see that at all in this game yesterday. I don't get that.
Yeah, it was odd. But the reason I bring up Zach, Joe, is because Mike White, we think he's going to play, but in real time, you get a rib injury, whatever it is, you probably
He'll have the flak jacket on.
Yep,
next
you
week.
take some kind of shot. It still hurts like hell.
Sure,
there's a good chance that Mike White is compromised next week. So if he does and he goes down, takes a shot against Detroit. Like, who's playing quarterback? Like, who would you rather have at quarterback?
Look, I think
Zach
Wilson's
Wilson.
got to be the backup. I think Zach's
Zach.
got to be the backup. Yeah.
Zach. That's it. For me, there's nothing. I
There's
can't
nobody
even
else.
debate it. It's Zach Wilson.
Right.
I mean,
I
what are
agree.
we asking here? It's not Flacco's done.
Done.
Streveler's a good. It's Zach Wilson, Teak.
Right.
You know
know
that.
Wilson's the guy.
Yeah, but
It's Zach Wilson.
But the last time we saw Zach Wilson, it was not a pretty picture.
He also won 5 games.
I understand that, but he had
Could you
100
imagine
yards.
if-
He had
imagine if
100
White
yards the
played-
last time he played.
If White played against New England, they would have 2 more wins now. We wouldn't even be freaking out like we are.
Yeah,
That's true.
Joe, you know what I said to Teak? This is pretty unconventional, but I would even go to Mike. Well, I'm talking to Joe Benigno, of course, here on the Fan Tiki and Tierney every Monday at 11:40 with Joe. I would go to his camp and I'd say, all right, guys, let's structure something responsible. We want him. He's made no real money yet. Let's get a 3-year deal worth $30-something million, get something going. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm in. Okay, of course. Look, he should have been a quarterback all along. Now, probably the biggest mistake we have seen the Douglas Saleh combination make is that this guy was the best quarterback the whole time. And he should have started. I don't want to get, because I said this last year, and they set him up in that Buffalo game, and then everybody, dumped on him after that.
Yeah.
He's not any good and all this. And he didn't start the season this year. They started Flacco because they knew they had to go back to Wilson. And if White started and White's terrific, well, how do you ever go back to Wilson? How?
But what? And Joe, you have said that, and I got to tell you,
the more the season goes on, and the more we see Mike White playing the way that he is, you were right. Because if Mike White starts the season and he looks lights out, weather's nice, right? These young, you got all this talent around you. Everybody's healthy, and they're scoring 35 points a game. There's no way you're going back to Zach Wilson. There's no way. Right?
Way.
Joe Flacco gave you a reason to go back to Zach Wilson.
Right.
Mike White might not have.
But why would they be afraid? And Joe, with Tiki, I mean, it seemed almost ludicrous when you suggested it.
I get that.
I get that. But success is success.
I get it. I understand that. But still, these guys, look, Joe Douglas has done a tremendous job.
Yes.
I mean, this draft this year, and can Jermaine Johnson play a little more than he does? I mean, every time I see him on the field, he's making a play.
Yeah,
he watched the punt yesterday. He's always making a play. I need to see him more. Douglas has done a phenomenal job, even coming up with Bam Knight. I mean, how was it? Like I said it last week, how's this guy missed the first 10 games without playing? I mean, God, he's the only guy better than him is Breece Hall on this team. As far
I don't
as
know how he didn't get drafted. How does he not get drafted?
How does he not get drafted? That's 100% right. Well,
He's
he
40.
said he had a bad combine, right? Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah, and his last season, to be fair, NC State wasn't. It didn't leave a lot to be desired, but he was a good player. They
had to justify the second pick in the draft. That's the bottom line. I really believe it, and I give them credit now because they realized, hey, we got to do something. Even though they were winning games, we got to do something. We got to give this kid a shot. And clearly, this kid, and the comments after this game in the locker room.
Oh man, he's a bleeping soldier. They love Mike White. They are all in. Yep. Joe, before we let you go, 30 seconds. I mean, Uncle Stevie going to deliver Correa. I mean, what the hell's next for the Mets? This is
Uncle
insane.
Stevie.
This is awesome.
But we went. Talk about going as far as ownership goes from the outhouse to the penthouse, right?
Yes.
I mean, this guy, you got to love him. I mean, you got to love him. He gives $162 million to Nimmo. They had to bring Nimmo back. He brings Verlander in immediately. He brings Quintana in. Now the Japanese pitcher's here now. Yep. I mean, unbelievable.
We've never had this, Joe.
David Robertson. I mean, come on.
Well, what we've never had, Robertson, the 1-year, $10 million deal. It's good for the bullpen. And then, of course, Diaz, $100 million first day of free agency. We've never really had this because the Yankees have always spent, what I said to Tiki before, is that, all right, Met fans are obviously happy because Cohen's got more money than anybody. He's throwing his weight around. But this should, you would think, logic would suggest, this has to incentivize the Yankees to spend some more.
Should.
They
should sign Correa. Why won't they sign this guy? I know they got these young guys to play, to play shortstop. Carlos Correa is a terrific player. I don't want to hear that the Yankee fans don't like him because he's in Houston. That's nonsense.
I mean, once he becomes a Yankee, you forget it. You don't care anymore.
Believe me, if they had Altuve, they'd love him too if he was on the team.
Johnny Damon was a Red Sox, then we loved him. We get over it quickly.
Roger Clemens. I don't know how much you loved him though, but Roger
when he was here, I liked him.
Yeah.
Dude, if he helps you win, doesn't matter. Appreciate you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe B.
All the love. Beat the Lions.